week's Try It Out Tuesday. I'm going to wait for a few more people to join in, and then we will have a chat about what we're going to use and have a play with this week. Although, I think it's fairly obvious. But, you know, one should never assume. You know, there's a whole thing about assuming, isn't there? So I hope everyone is well. I hope you're having a great week. And I hope you're getting some crafty time, because obviously that is very important, isn't it? So basically, not even basically, I don't know why I said that. So this week we're going to be having a play with the Be Crafty Inkables 6x6 mandalas. Okay, so there are 7 of these. So I know, as this is still new, that we're doing Try It Out Tuesday on YouTube. Okay, evening Angie, evening Pippa, hi Alison. Oh, hi Caroline, sorry I didn't see you there. There isn't a sort of like a set format with Try It Out Tuesday, because with Try It Out Tuesday I also try to respond to things people ask me to show, techniques people want me to show, or if people, you know, would like to see more of a, for example, a page using something or a card using something. So it's not always a finished project. It has been a lot recently because I've actually been trying to complete more things, but sometimes it is just more of a product focus, which is what tonight is going to be. Okay, so basically tonight we're going to be having a look at the Inkables 6x6 mandalas. Okay, the Inkables 6x6 range on the Be Crafty website is massive. Okay, there's 70 odd on there at the minute. There is a multi-buy on there as well. There is a link in the description below. And Sam will be putting on for everybody that's in the live chat. Okay. But the mandalas are something a bit special when it comes to the Inkable 6x6. Now, again, I'm going to be going over a lot of basic things for any new people that are finding us here on YouTube. So if you are a hard, fast Try It Out Tuesday, Be Craftier, I am sorry, because you've probably heard all this before, but bear with me. You never know. It might be something you didn't know or have forgotten, or something like that. So the Inkables 6x6, very the same as all of our Inkables, whether that's big ones, grandes, dinkables, tag sets, texture discs, etc. Okay, they're all made from that 350 micron mylar. Okay, so it's weighty, it's heavy duty, and what that means is if you're using texture paste, you get really great dimension, and if you are putting them through an embossing machine, I use a grand caliber, what can I say, I'm old school, you get a really good emboss with those as well. So we might have a go at that in a bit if I can remember the sandwich to use. Okay, there are 7 mandalas. Okay, and also, as you've just seen, okay, so the Inkable 6x6, they're either templates or masks or things like that. Now, the mandalas, again, are a bit special because you get 2 pieces per one, okay? So these are the numbers. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. As you can see, some of mine predate when the numbers were put in the corners. And in fairness, I actually had all of them before the numbers were put in the corners, but I've lost some because that's just... I'm still tidying. It'll get there. But what happens with these is you have the template, which is your patterned mandala, okay? And then you also have the mask, okay? So what this means is you can either, for example, blend all around to create, you know, a mandala section and then your color around. But what you can also do is easily block that off, so you literally just have the shape. Okay, now all of these are available individually, and they are all part of the multi-buy offer. Okay, so all the Inkable 6x6 have a buy 3 get so much off. Okay, but what we've also put together, because I was doing the product focus tonight, is a set with all 7 at a bigger discount than the discount for the multi-buy. So if you don't have the set, that would be a great way to do that. But what I will say is, if you do go for the set, that is also still in the multi-buy. So for example, if you wanted to make a greater saving on that, you could get 2 other 6x6s and add them in. Okay, right, so let's get started with what we're going to do. So I've cut some 6x6s, And what I thought might be good, you can, at any point, you can jump in, all right, and say, Bev, can you actually show me this instead? Okay, so, but until that happens, I'm just going to keep going as I think, okay? So I thought what I would do to start with, lift those up, is I thought I would get some blending brushes and some inks, and we would just go through one at a time so you can see them and see what they look like. Because it's all well and good seeing the templates and whatever, but until you've seen them blended through, I think a lot of the time you can't necessarily see what they're going to be like. Okay, so I'm going to do all of them inside their outer mask, okay? Because I think that'll give you a really good idea of the nice clean edge and shape that you can get. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just using some stencil tape to basically stick the two together. Okay, I'll put a little bit more on. Because that way it will just hold together a bit more. All right, and then I'm going to get my blending brushes. Again, I'm going to use my blending brushes, not blending foams. You could use your blending foams, but I just think my blending brushes, it's an easier, quicker way of getting that blend correct. Okay, should I zoom in? Should I zoom in a little bit? Or is everybody okay? Right, so I'm going to grab, let's go nice and bright to start. Let's grab some mustard seed. And then maybe some broken china. Let's go with 2 colours at a time. All right, and again, if there's anything specific you'd like to see, put it in the comments. Not a problem at all. If you're catching up with this later and there's anything you'd like to see, you can always let us know after the fact. Okay, you could also stick this down to your piece of card if you wanted. Okay, and all I would do for that is get a little bit of your stencil tape. I wouldn't actually necessarily stick it to the card. Stick your card down, and then, and like I say, those of you that know me best will know that me sticking things down does not come naturally, actually. Okay, but if you know, that does just give you a little bit more. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with our mustard seed, and we're going to blend that out. Oh, hello. I'm going to blend that out until it really starts to fade. So it's really rich on the inside, really pale as we get further out. And then we're going to go with our broken china, load up that brush. Okay. But for this one, we're going to start on the outside and work our way around. Do that over here. These are fantastic for doodling through, for, you know, doing sort of Zen doodling, that sort of thing. You definitely should do that. Me and Sally have done it loads. Can I find any of my samples? No, I cannot. Okay. And then, so for example, you can see you've got a lovely clean frame around the outside of your template. Okay. And you lift that off. You've got a beautiful mandala ready to go. But we won't do this for everyone, but you can see you've got your ink on here. So what you can do, let's just lift that up there. I'll take those bits of tape off. For our next pieces, let's just get another piece of card here. All right, and we're going to mist onto here and then press down on our piece of card. Now what I would recommend is getting another piece of card, or your blending mat even, just putting over the top so you can press nice and evenly. And then when you lift off, you've got this lovely sort of... And bear in mind, this is just with blending brush ink on top. If you were to actually directly apply the ink, you would get a much more defined mandala. Okay, but what I love about doing it this way, when it's just a really small amount of ink on your template, you're still not wasting it, but you sort of get this outline effect, which I really, really like. It's loads of fun. Okay, and that is a fantastic building block for a background. Okay, so I'll put that over there. So that's number one. Oh no, I was wearing pale jeans and I've just wiped it down the side. Ah well, in for a penny. Okay. Number two. Okay, so we're going to do the same again. Alright. We're going to stick a piece of card down. Then we're going to get our inkable. Sit our template inside. I'm just going to stick that down. Again, I'm going to get a couple of extra bits of tape just to try and hold that frame and face. I will say, if I'm here on my own, talking to myself, I won't pretend I'm not talking when I'm on my own. I am. I'm just talking to myself. I tend to just hold it, but you do get very inky that way, and I know not everybody's a fan. All right, so let's swap it up. We're gonna go. Let's just trade one color at a time. Okay, so we're gonna go with blue of the broken china. So stick with the pale blue, and then some wilted violet. But what we're gonna do this time is we're gonna grab our wilted violet. I'm gonna do wilted violet in the middle. Okay, and then we're gonna do a wilted violet around the edge. And don't worry, I will say this, the beautiful thing about these mandalas, or any of the inkables to be honest, if your blending is not your strong suit, it's not something you feel very confident in, you feel it's blotchy and patchy and all this sort of thing, okay? Do not fret, petal, okay? Because it doesn't matter. Because what's going to happen is, when you take off your mandala template, it's going to be this beautiful distressed sort of look that you've got with your distress inks. Nothing to worry about at all. So again, what we'll do is we'll lift off the outer, then we'll lift off that inner template, and look at that. Fantastic. Okay, so if you imagine that is a layer on the front of your card. Okay, what could we grab quickly to put on there to show you? Where's that gone? Oh, grab a nice doodle art sunflower with a sentiment on there. Okay, and a gorgeous little dragonfly. Stunning. The birdhouse from the doodle art houses. Okay, you could take one of the little black and white birds here and just put a nice big sentiment across the middle. Okay, so they are, if you love clean and simple, they work that way. They're not just for building more complex backgrounds on your art journals. That's what I use them a lot for, but what I want to do tonight is just show you those beautiful patterns blended out. Okay, so that's one, that's two. Okay, on to the next one. Now this one, I will say, is a firm favourite of everyone that tries it. If people are only going to go for one, it's either this one or number 4. Okay, so I'm fully prepared for that, and it's okay. All right, so we're going to put again, we're going to stick our piece of card down. And we're going to put a mandala inside. All right. So again, we're going to change out some of these colours. Or should we just add in a third one? Should we just add in a third one? It's because it's got pointy bits, according to Sam. But, you know, I wouldn't know. I think it is just because it is a different shape. I think Sam's absolutely right, to be fair. I think a lot of the time when we think mandalas, you automatically think circle or even a scalloped edge. So when you have something that's got this more star quality, it does sort of adjust how you feel. So we're going to go in the centre with our twisted citron. But I'll tell you what else we're going to do. We're going to put a little bit on each tip of the star, as it were. Okay, and we're going to put that to the side. And then we're going to take our wilted violet. Okay, oh, hello. I'm going to come in. The beauty of this is, with blending brushes, the technique really isn't that important. Just sort of get it on, you know. I have moved this a little bit, so this will be a good lesson in how it can still look good when you've gone wrong, she says. Full of hope. All right, and then we're going to go for our broken china to effectively fill in those gaps. All right, and we're going to lift off. Now, I will say this is a particularly beautiful one to do the spritz. And go. All right. So if you look, just with those lovely pointy edges, and you can see where it's shifted, you know, because I haven't taped it or kept it or held it still enough. But it's still beautiful. Look at that. The nice thing about this one is it's beautiful as well to layer. Okay, so if you wanted to sort of decoupage this up, stunning, absolutely stunning. And it's actually really easy to cut these inner layers because they are just straight lines, really. Okay, so number 4, another Fern family favourite. Okay, put that on there. So that bit of tape's a bit aggressive. See, I've got my tape the other side, but that's okay. So I've got tape over each of these 4 corners. So I usually just press down. Okay. So let's mix up some more colours. I'll tell you what, let's add in a sort of corally colour. We'll swap out that blue for a Mermaid Lagoon. Coral in mermaid. It sounds legitimate, doesn't it? And what should we add in a third colour? Let's just go for the abandoned coral and the Mermaid Lagoon. Let's see how that goes. Okay, I'm going to go with a more orangey toned brush because the orange, because the abandoned coral is on the more warm side of the spectrum, so it is a warmer sort of reddy colour with that sort of pinky orangey hue. Okay. I can't remember which I've got. I've only got 3 of them. Well, Alison, one needs to check one stash, I think. Okay, so this one, I'll tell you what, let's go a little bit more patchy. We're going to do these 4 like this, and then the centre, and then we're going to grab our abandoned coral. And then when we lift it up, we've got that beautiful one. So you can use your inks to sort of adjust the pattern as well, because now it almost looks square because that blue section looks square. So it adjusts how you're viewing it, if you see what I'm saying, which is great. Okay, so that's 4. I feel like I'm going through these slowly. Am I doing okay? I need feedback. I need reassurance. What can I say? Okay, so now we're on number 5. Now this is lovely. This is a beautifully simplistic one. If you're not sure if the more intricate mandalas are for you, then this is the daddy of it, because it's simple, it's elegant, it's a lovely clean circle with clean lines on the inside, and then this lovely sort of daisy style flower that, you know, you can decoupage up, you could add doodles into. It just works. Okay, so let's get this stuck down here. All right, I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go like really, really pink. Let's go for some picked raspberry with some blue, and let's get that mustard seed back. Okay, so we're going to go, ooh, you know what, we're going to mix these up quite a few times, I think. Okay, so we'll go mustard seed in the centre, if it was a daisy, and then we're going to go picked raspberry around that circle, and then we're going to do mermaid lagoon sort of overlapping, which will give us that beautiful purpley hue where it's mixed with the picked raspberry. And then we're going to go back to our mustard seed for the outside. Because then you'll also get that slight overlap into greens. Okay. And I do honestly think, because of its simplicity, this is one of the most overlooked of the mandalas. But it's beautiful, and I think, like I say, the clean lines of it are really, really beautiful. And like I said, I feel this one's overlooked quite a bit for ones that are, for want of a better description, more exciting, like the pointy ones and that sort of thing. Okay, so that's number 5. So 2 more to go. So we have number 6 here. Now this one is really exciting because you've got the points, but you've also got those lovely clean lines. It's a really good sort of mashup of the style. See, Lynn's already going, I need the pointy star one. Okay, so let's just make sure that's in the right place. There is a right way and a wrong way to sit your inside in. It doesn't necessarily fit all the way round. I will say that. Okay. So with this one, let's bring some oranges in. Let's really warm it up. Okay. So, oh, my comments have gone. Whee! All right, so we're going to go, oh, keep moving it. I've spent all day, not all day because she's been at school, but several times tonight I have said to my youngest daughter, teeth are not tools, when she's been trying to open things. Guess how I've cut every single piece of tape. All right, so we're going to do a nice carved pumpkin there, and then again I'm going to do a carved pumpkin. I'm not going to re-ink my brush, but in these scallops. All right, and then I'm going to take my picked raspberry to do on the outers of these petals here. And also around that centre section. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to my mustard seed and just bring that brightness back in. Okay. Now here is a really good example of not necessarily having the perfect blend. Okay. So if you look to the top here, okay, that bit looks quite blotchy. You think, well, that looks really noticeable. You know, that's not going to work. Yeah, but when you lift it off, it all becomes slightly more forgiving. Because you're not looking at that. You're looking at the white space that's left behind. You're looking at the beautiful pattern. Do you see what I mean? So you can really sort of build on that. Add things to it. Again, let's get that sunflower back that we were looking at earlier on there. All right. And as well, I think with these sort of ones, because you have the 6 points going that way, if you turn it that way, so you've got more of a 2-1-2, it really sort of mixes up the dynamic of it. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so one more and then we'll have another look. And then if there's anything else specific you want me to do, I will do it. If not, we might just have another play with something slightly different. Okay, that's it. So at number 7, if you all say 7 in the style of Len Goodman, that's absolutely fine. My mother does every single time she says the word 7. Okay, and again, so this one, okay, so we're doing a 6 point here in more of a 2-2-2 format, and no, that doesn't work for me. I'm going to have to turn it around. I've written the number 7 on the wrong way. I've written it on sideways. See, that's not how that one fits. I'm going to do it one rotation. See, it fits in beautiful that way. So, your mandalas are also exceedingly useful for ghosting techniques. Okay, so if you've got a lovely blended background, and again, say you're not really happy with how the blending is, you've blended a 6x6, okay, you're not really happy with it, take one of your mandalas, spritz it with water, lift some of the ink off, and then you'll have this lovely sort of shadow mandala technique, which looks absolutely beautiful. I will be using these more in actual ways soon. So again, if you treat yourself to these, or you've got these and like, no, I'd actually like to see them in a project, let me know. Honestly, give us the feedback, send us messages, leave comments on the thing saying this is what we'd like. It's absolutely fine, and I will check them. All right, so what colours haven't I used yet? None of them. I've used them all. All right. So let's go with a pink, a blue. Let's go with a wild card. Let's go with a really rich green, like Rusty Wilderness. Throw in a bit of a wild card in there. Lovely. All right. So we're going to go... Do you know what? I'm going to make it even more complicated now. Well, I've got to keep your interest, haven't I? I'm going to go that petal, that petal, that petal. Oh, that's come out green. And then with that Rustic Wilderness, which is going to be a really rich colour compared to the other two. All right. And then, just because it cures all ills, we're going to go in with our mustard seed to fill in any gaps. And you're thinking, what the heck is she doing? Why? Why? I'll tell you for why. Because look at the amazingness that's going to follow. Now, in fairness, anyone can tell me that's not awesome because it doesn't matter to me because it is. So you can say it if you like, but it won't make it true. All right, so let's just lift those blending brushes out the way just a second. Because I do sometimes think, you know, obviously we launch products and we show you products, but after that, they're only used in bits and pieces. And sometimes it's really good to see them showcased again, all together. So, here's the funny thing though, all right? You guys could pick your favourite one now, all right? But I could change up the colourways of all of those and change your favourite in an instant, okay? If I change the colour of that one, for example, to that, you might feel very different about it. If I change the colour from that to that, you might feel very different about it. Okay, this is also a very good sample. I'm going to segue seamlessly. Check this out. Okay, again, if you are new to the Be Crafty Lives as they're here on YouTube, in the Be Crafty Stamps group on Facebook, every month Sally runs a challenge. For January, it is Vivids. Look how easily you could complete your challenge entries. You can enter 3 times. You know, doing your Vivids with your mandalas. Stunning. Okay, so what have we got a favourite of? We've got a favourite of 6. A favourite of 3. 2. It does have element of spirograph about it, doesn't it? I totally agree. You don't think you could choose a favourite. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly... Yeah, I heard it. Okay. I'm going to take number 4. Okay. And I'm going to do that in a different colourway. Okay, I'm going to prove that I can make you feel differently about it just by changing the colours. Okay, so in order to do that, I will probably have to clean it. Well, not to do it, but to do it successfully. Alright, so I'm just going to put that on there. Give it a little spritz. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to get another piece of card. I do have another couple of little bits. They're a little bit warped, but aren't we all? Alright. So I'm going to stick that down. And then we're going to get our number 4 template. We're going to put it in like that. So what was the favourite colourway, do we think, that I did? I think we need to do a 3 colour. So let's use 3 colours. So use the pink, the yellow, and shall we go with a purple? Using purple with a yellow is always a risky business, but what can I say? I like to walk on the wild side. All right, so we're going to put that on there. Stop untucking yourself. Okay, bearing in mind, okay, you can do all of this sort of blending with all of your Inkables and get these lovely vivid colorways. Don't get me wrong, probably be more challenging with a Dinkable, smaller space. Challenging, but not impossible. Okay, so we're going to go... I'm going to reorganise myself how I was before, because that seemed to work. So we're going to go with the... not a fossilised amber. We're going to go with the mustard seed, won't we? Mustard seed and a villainous potion. This could be exciting. All right. So let's start with the mustard seed. We're going to bring in the picked raspberry, and we're going to add in picked raspberry to each of the tips. Oh, that was a villainous potion. What a wazzock. Right, and then we're going to go around with a villainous potion, and then because I went wrong, I'm going to just go back over the top of those corners. There, picked raspberry, and just back into the centre with that mustard seed and push it out. Okay. And then we're going to lift up. Okay. And your mandala works in an exceedingly different way. Just by changing up the colours. Just by giving it that mix. Okay. And this is why I like to do lives like this where I show you them in different colours, because if one colourway makes it look very specific, then looking at it as just a picture of a template on the website is not going to show you everything you can do with it. Okay, because it's just not. All right, now this is where I'm going to see if I have all the mats I need to show you something else. Yes, I do. Okay. So, one of the things you can do, and I will admit, it's not something I do enough of, because I'm usually inking or spraying or using texture paste through these. There's lots of examples using the mandalas on the design and on the creative team blog, which is on the Be Crafted blog. There's a link to it on the website, and there is on the top left hand corner. There's also lots of links to it on the Be Crafted Facebook page. But something I don't do enough with any of my Inkables, not just my mandalas, is emboss with them. Okay, now embossing with your Inkables is brilliant. you get some fantastic effects. I'm just going to grab some here that I did using the Inkables big ones just to show you. Because I'm now worried I can't find something shiny. But we are still going to do it. Like I said, I use a Grand Caliber, which is very much old school. But, you know, if it works, it's something I have discussed at length before. I replace things when they need replaced. I do not before that. So if it works, why would I replace it? It's kind of the reason. For example, I've gone through this a lot. I mean, this one needs soon to be replaced. I've had this Stampin' Stuff clear embossing powder forever. Now, we don't stock it. We stock Ranger embossing powder. But I wasn't going to throw this away because we've changed the one. Do you know what I mean? That would be a waste, and I'm just not into that. Okay. So let me look for something shiny, only because I think it shows up better on screen. Ooh. Oh, that'll do. It's quite pale, but it'll do. It'll do. It's got a little bit of shiny. Now, something you are going to have to do is just bear with me while I make sure I get the sandwich correct for this. Because I did have a note of it. But it's gone. Okay. So you're going to bear with me. Embossing plate, base plate. Don't need the cutting plate. So we're going to go. Base plate. Now this is what I can't remember. If it's card, template, then embossing plate. If it's tan matte, card, template, or the other way. I think it might be the template on the mat. It's all right. If it doesn't work, we'll move it around. This is one of these things I meant to practice before, but then I started playing with my mandalas and I forgot. Okay. So I'm just going to go back because otherwise I'm going to knock down all of my distress inks. It's not because it needs 2 passes. Okay. Did that work? Nope. It's the other way. Oh, look, I've made a lovely pattern on there, though. Okay. I'll put the template on top. Try it this way. I honestly had it written down as a little note. And it was, well, I actually had it written on my raspberry plate, but it's gone missing. It's obviously worn off at some point. Okay, so there you go. So that, I can't remember which number that is now. I think it's number 7. Embossed. So if you want the template, the pattern in negative, you put it on top, but if you want it, you can't see because where that is. So what we're going to do, we're going to do that again, but we're going to flip the card over. Whoops! I nearly lost you. That was nearly a Zingzilla disaster. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm turning the card upside down now. Okay, because I just want to show you the difference. What a save on a... My heart is going 347 miles an hour right now. Wow. Okay. So, I'll flip this over now so you can see the two ways that it's done. So this is with the template on the back, and that's with the template on the front. So it gives you a real sort of different effect on how you can emboss with your Inkables. And like I said, with the mandalas, I think it just does give you that bit extra. But something I did want to quickly show you, and I won't keep you much longer, is also, so this was some doodling I did in a bullet journal using my mandalas, okay? Let me grab the one it was. Not that one, not that one, not that one. It's the one at the very bottom, of course. So it was this one, and if you look, I just lined it up. I drew round it using fine liners, microns, okay? And then I filled it in using Moonlight pens. Okay, just all dots and lines and this sort of thing. And then this is an Inkables big one that I added in around the edge. Okay, so you can really see, and it honestly, it doesn't take as long as you think. It's just really fun, sort of mindful, having, you know, if you like the idea of doing mindful doodling, that sort of thing, but you're not necessarily confident doing it freehand, doing it with your, oh, hello. Doing it with your mandalas is a really good way to do that, because what it does is it gives you that outline, and then you can just add in the details on your own. Okay. So Sally has done some excellent doodling with the mandalas, which I'm sure is on the blog. But what I'll do is I'll set up a mandalas creations folder in the Be Crafty Stamps group on Facebook, so we can do that. And what I'll also try and do is make sure there's more samples in with each mandalas, each with each mandala on the website as well. Okay, so let's put these back out. I've gone wrong now. That's 4. That's 4. Whatever. I've got them mixed up now. Until I put them back together, that's it. All right. So I hope that's showed you how versatile they are in terms of with their colouring, how you can adjust them so easily with your colouring, and how handy it is having that outer and inner. I suppose I should have really showed you what it's like just to ink over the edge, but I think that speaks for itself. I can do more of these. If there's any more products you would like to see really broken down in this way, please let me know. There's so many more techniques you can do with your Inkables. For example, texture pastes, and like I say, spritzes, sprays, paint, you know, like I say, pen work, doodling, colouring in, that sort of thing. There's so many things you can do, and like I say, using them for ghosting techniques, they're a fantastic thing. And because they're made of that 350 micron mylar, you get excellent definition. They are a bit tougher. They are a little, you know, they are that little bit more harder wearing. I find it's quite difficult to kill them, and trust me, I do a lot to them. So if you know, if you're looking to build, these are absolutely great. So we do have quite a few more live events, shall we say, happening with Be Crafty this week. Sally is live tomorrow at 8 o'clock on the Be Crafty Facebook page. I am live in the Crafting Together with All Brands group on Thursday at 2 o'clock. And I will be going live again on the Be Crafty TikTok this Friday at 12. So that would be great if you could join me for any of these. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you see us on any of the socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything like that, it would be great if you could interact with us in some way, because it makes them think that, you know, people like seeing what we put out, which is quite important for a small business. In fairness, important doesn't even cover it. It's life and death stuff in terms of the business. All right then, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you need any help finding these mandalas on the website, please let us know, but the links are right there. And I do think, like I say, seeing them all together does really help. But what I will do is I will add pictures of each of these to the website so you can see them nice and easily. All right then, guys, thank you so much for joining me once again here on YouTube. And like I say, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Bye.